My daughter said I deserved to be cheated on, until she found out her mom stole her college fund to run off with her affair partner who didn't even want her. Hello Reddit I plus here. My name is Patrick, and I am 48 years old. For most of my adult life, I believed I was building something solid, something worth sacrificing for. I worked hard, stayed loyal, and thought I was giving my family the life they deserved. I never imagined that my greatest heartbreak wouldn't come from my wife's betrayal, but from my own daughter's rejection of me when I needed her understanding the most. Until about a year ago, I thought I had it figured out. I'd been married to Monica for 20 years, and together, we had a daughter, Lydia, who had just turned 19. Lydia was brilliant, top of her class, a talented artist, with dreams of going to an elite university. From the moment she was born, I promised myself she would never have to worry about opportunities. I wanted her to have everything I didn't have growing up. I'm a senior operations director for a manufacturing firm. It's a demanding career, one that often requires 12-hour days, sometimes weekends, and occasional trips out of state. But it paid well. Over the years, I steadily climbed from an entry-level position to where I am now, earning a comfortable 6-figure salary. With that, we bought a large home in a safe neighborhood, took family trips abroad, and most importantly, I built up a college fund for Lydia that eventually reached nearly $120,000. Every hour I worked late, I told myself, this is for her future. For a long time, Monica seemed to accept this. She stayed home after Lydia was born, saying it was important that someone be there for every school play, every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference. I didn't argue. I thought it was a good arrangement. She'd take care of home, and I'd take care of providing. But about 3 years ago, Monica changed. At first it was subtle. Snide comments about me working late, sarcastic jokes about me being married to my job. Then it became arguments. She accused me of caring more about my company than my family. She started saying Lydia was growing up without a father, even though I tried to make every recital, every big event. The real blow came when I discovered she wasn't just complaining, she was cheating. 16 months ago, I found undeniable proof. Hotel receipts, secret credit card charges, late-night messages with a man named Julian she had met through a fitness group. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. Instead, she told me it was my fault. My fault for working too much. My fault for not being emotionally available. She said Julian gave her attention and made her feel alive in ways I never did. But the betrayal that cut the deepest wasn't hers. It was Lydia's. When Lydia found out about the affair, I expected anger at her mother. I thought she would see Monica's betrayal clearly. Instead, she turned on me. She said, "Dad, you've never been here. You cared more about money than us. Mom deserves happiness." Those words felt like knives. I had worked myself to exhaustion for her future, for her education, for the very life she was living, and yet she believed I deserved to be cheated on. Monica fueled this idea, whispering to Lydia that I had neglected them, that I forced her into loneliness. My daughter, my little girl who once used to wait by the window for me to come home from work, now looked at me as if I was the villain. When I filed for divorce, Lydia chose her mother's side without hesitation. She told me she wanted to live with Monica and cut off contact with me. Worse still, she testified during the divorce that I had been an absent father who only cared about his career. Her words in court gave Monica leverage to demand heavy alimony and a bigger share of our assets. I lost a significant portion of what I had built over 2 decades, all while Lydia glared at me as if I was the one who had destroyed our family. I told myself I could handle losing my wife, but losing my daughter's respect was unbearable. The truth, however, has a way of clawing its way out. Months after the divorce was finalized, Lydia's world began to unravel. The first crack came when she discovered Monica had been secretly planning to move across the country with Julian. Plane tickets, a lease agreement for a 1-bedroom apartment in California, documents Lydia stumbled upon while looking for paperwork. When she confronted her mother, Monica tried to lie, saying it was for a future family trip, but the evidence was too clear. Lydia realized her mother wasn't planning a new life with her. She was planning a new life without her. Then came the college fund. The account I had built for 18 years should have held more than enough for Lydia's education. But when she checked it to pay for her first semester tuition, only $15,000 remained. The rest, gone. Lydia thought it had been tied up in the divorce, but after digging, she uncovered the truth. Monica had drained nearly $105,000 from the account over the past 2 years. The timing lined up exactly with her affair. Vacations, jewelry, luxury hotels, all paid for with the money meant for Lydia's future. When Lydia confronted her, Monica didn't apologize. She said, "It was marital money. I had every right to use it." Then she told Lydia to take out student loans like everyone else. The final blow came when Lydia saw messages between Monica and Julian. He had told Monica directly that he didn't want Lydia around, that she was old enough to fend for herself, and Monica agreed. She promised him Lydia wouldn't interfere in their lives. The same woman Lydia had defended, the woman she had called a victim, was planning to abandon her for a man who saw her as nothing but a burden. And suddenly, Lydia realized everything I had been saying was true. She called me one night, sobbing. She said, "Dad, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about everything. Mom, she was using me. She stole my future. And I pushed you away when you were the only one who actually cared." I sat there in silence for a long time. A part of me wanted to hug her through the phone, to tell her it was okay, to erase the pain. But another part of me remembered her standing in that courtroom, pointing her finger at me, accusing me of destroying our family. I finally said, "Lydia, I'll always love you. But love doesn't erase what's happened. You hurt me deeply. Trust takes time to rebuild." She asked if I could help her with tuition since the money was gone. I told her I would consider it, but that she needed to show me, not just tell me, that she understood the gravity of what she had done, that she wasn't going to keep excusing betrayal or blaming me when life got hard. Now Lydia is trying to repair our relationship. She texts me almost every day, sometimes just small updates about her classes or drawings she's working on. I see effort, but I also see fear. The fear of losing me the way she lost her mother's trust. As for Monica, she moved in with Julian. From what I hear, it's already falling apart. The man she threw away her marriage and daughter for doesn't even treat her well. Karma has its way. And me? I've started to rebuild my life. I'm seeing someone new, Rachel, a woman who respects my work ethic instead of condemning it. For the first time in years, I feel like I don't have to apologize for providing. But even with all of that, the lesson is sharp. Betrayal from a spouse hurts, but betrayal from your child can break you in ways you never thought possible. Now, Lydia and I are in the fragile process of mending. And though I don't know where we'll end up, I do know this. She's learned the truth about her mother, and she's learning the truth about me, and maybe, just maybe, that's enough to start again. It's been half a year since that late-night phone call from Lydia. A lot has happened since then, some good, some heartbreaking, some frustrating. When Lydia first apologized and admitted she had been wrong, I'll admit, I felt something stir in me. For years, my world had revolved around her. She was my little girl, the reason I worked insane hours, the reason I endured the stress of managing multi-million-dollar projects, the reason I kept saving dollar after dollar instead of buying myself the things I once wanted. So when she said, "Dad, I need you," part of me wanted to swoop in and fix everything, pay off her tuition, buy her books, cover her living expenses, and shield her from the consequences of her choices. But another part of me, an older, more wounded part, held back, because the truth is, Lydia hadn't just made a mistake. She had chosen to stand by Monica during the ugliest part of my life. She had chosen to testify against me in court, to look me in the eye and say I was a neglectful father, knowing full well what those words would do to me legally and emotionally. And she had chosen to defend her mother's affair while dismissing my pain. So, when she called, sobbing about her mother's lies, I told her, "Lydia, I love you, but trust has to be rebuilt. That doesn't happen overnight." At first, she seemed to understand. She texted me daily, small things like, "Good morning, Dad," or "I hope work is going well." Sometimes she'd send me photos of her sketches or updates about her professors. I appreciated it. But soon, I noticed a pattern forming. About 2 months after our first conversation, Lydia called me again. This time, her tone wasn't just apologetic, it was pleading. She explained that her tuition bill was due again, and the financial aid office wouldn't let her register for classes without payment. She said, "Dad, if you don't help me, I'll have to drop out. Please, I don't want to waste all your years of sacrifice. I'll make you proud." I swear I was quiet for a while, then asked her, "What about your mother? She was supposed to support you with the alimony and settlement money she fought so hard for." Her answer stunned me. Monica had told Lydia point blank that her education was her problem now. Monica was spending her money on trips with Julian and spa retreats, not tuition bills. When Lydia protested, Monica snapped, "You're an adult now. Don't expect me to hold your hand." That was when Lydia broke down. She cried and begged me to step in. She even said, "Dad, I was wrong to defend her. I see that now. Please, don't punish me by refusing to help. You're the only parent I have left." I told her I would think about it. but that night I barely slept. Her words felt like a knife. Because deep down, I knew part of what she said wasn't pure repentance. It was desperation, mixed with manipulation. During this time, Rachel, my girlfriend, became my anchor. She had seen the toll the divorce and betrayal had taken on me. When I told her about Lydia's requests, Rachel listened patiently before asking me a question that shook me. Patrick, are you helping Lydia because you believe she's truly changed? Or because you still feel guilty for being the workaholic father she accused you of being? It stung because she was right. I did feel guilty. I still remembered missing Lydia's middle school art show because I was stuck at a client dinner. I still remembered her face when I arrived late to one of her piano recitals. Even though I knew I had done all that to provide for her, a part of me always feared she was right, that maybe I had been too absent. Rachel reminded me, don't confuse love with enabling. If Lydia wants your help, she has to earn back your trust, not just ask for a blank check. That night, I decided, if I was going to help Lydia, it wouldn't be unconditional anymore. I sat Lydia down over dinner at a small diner she loved when she was younger. She looked nervous, almost like she was bracing for rejection. I told her, I'll help with some of your expenses, but I'm not going to just hand you money and pretend nothing happened. If you want me in your life, you have to put in the work. She asked what I meant, so I laid out conditions. Transparency. If I helped with tuition, she would show me her grades, attendance, and progress. No secrets. Accountability. She had to work part-time to cover at least some of her costs. No more leaning entirely on me. Respect. If she wanted a relationship, she had to stop bringing up Monica's version of events and acknowledge the pain she caused me. Her eyes filled with tears, but she agreed. Or at least she said she did. For the first few months, Lydia kept her promises. She worked at a local bookstore, sent me her grades, and stayed in contact. I felt hopeful. I even paid for her semester up front to prevent her from being kicked out. But slowly, I noticed old patterns creeping back. She started asking for small favors. Money for a new laptop, extra cash for art supplies, gas money because her job didn't pay enough. At first, I gave in. But then one day, Rachel noticed something. While scrolling through social media, Rachel saw Lydia posting pictures of nights out with friends. Expensive dinners, weekend trips, designer clothes. It didn't add up with her struggling student narrative. When I confronted Lydia, she brushed it off. She said, Dad, I'm allowed to have a life. Don't act like I'm wasting money. My friends cover most of the cost. I just pitch in a little. But I could tell she was lying. The breaking point came 3 months ago. Lydia called me in a panic, saying she was short on rent. She begged me to send her $800 immediately. Something about her tone felt off, so I hesitated. When I pressed her for details, she exploded. Why do you always have to interrogate me? Why can't you just help without making me feel like I'm begging? Her words echoed Monica's old accusations, that I cared more about control than compassion, that I was cold, transactional, unfeeling. It was as if my ex-wife's ghost was speaking through my daughter. I told her firmly, Lydia, I won't be manipulated. If you want my help, you need to be honest. Otherwise, I can't do this anymore. She hung up on me. It's been weeks since that call. Lydia has reached out a few times, mostly short texts like, Hi Dad, I miss you, or Can we talk? But I haven't responded yet. Not because I don't love her, I do. But because I'm realizing love isn't enough when it's constantly twisted into guilt and obligation. Rachel thinks Lydia is at a crossroads. Either she learns to take responsibility and grow up, or she keeps repeating Monica's patterns, blaming others, using manipulation, refusing to face consequences. As for me, I'm torn every day. Part of me wants to rescue her. Another part of me knows that if I keep rescuing her, she'll never truly change. And maybe that's the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes loving your child means stepping back, even when every instinct screams at you to step forward.